Today I'm going to be talking about how to use the Benchmark Advanced Teacher modules that are in Canvas Commons. So we're going to start by talking about how you can get those materials from Canvas Commons. When you're in Canvas, this is my dashboard. So I'm in the dashboard, which is the main page that opens up when you go to Canvas. Commons is here, so it's got a C with an arrow. When you hover over it, it will say Commons, and that's what you want to click on. So Commons is a repository of different resources that the curriculum specialists have put in there for you. If it's your first time going to Commons, you're going to want to click on the Filter button and make sure you're filtering only the Alachua County Public Schools resources. This will make your list much more manageable. You can always use the search bar, but just simply scrolling down will allow you to find all of these Benchmark Advanced resources. I've circled the green modules because that's what I'm talking about in the video. These are the teacher resources. These resources are student-facing, the blue course resources. Those are from Alachua eSchool, so those are meant for a student to be able to use. These teacher resources, though, are meant for teachers to be able to plan everyday lessons, whether they are digital lessons, if you are delivering any instruction digitally, but more commonly, you're just going to use these for your regular brick and mortar lessons. I'm going to be talking about the third grade Unit 1, but you can see that other grade levels are represented as well. Once you click on that, you can import it into your own course. And this is what the module will look like. So these are just modules. So you'll see, if you import Unit 1, you'll just see this module appear in the course that you've selected. So hopefully you would have selected your third grade ELA course, for example, for this one, and then you'll have these resources available to you immediately. If the module appears in a place that you don't like, maybe it's all the way at the bottom, you can click here to move that module up to a more convenient place for yourself. So I'm going to go over some of the resources that are available. You've got a unit overview. So if you click on this link, you'll see an overview of all of the skills that are taught in that unit. But what's listed here are just the skills that will be assessed on the unit assessment. So this is what the book calls the skill. And then you have the LAFS and BEST standards both pulled for you. So these can both help you as you're planning your lessons, if you're writing these sorts of things on the board, or if you're really trying to target your instruction, you'll have these standards, and these are just the assessed skills. So again, there's more than just these skills that will be covered in the unit, but these are the ones that will be assessed. The literacy planners are going to be very valuable tools for you. I've gotten these literacy planners just straight out of the textbook, so I can show you what that looks like in the textbook soon. But what we're mostly going to be talking about is these resources at the top of the literacy planner. You've got Google Slides to accompany the lessons. You have some other additional resources that are very closely related to these Google Slides. And then there's some other links throughout the literacy planners, like read aloud teaching strategies, small texts that you can use for small group and independent study. And additionally, there's the unit assessment as well as the week 1 and week 2 assessments. And those are going to be linked at the bottom. So this is the literacy planner on the textbook website, as well as in your paper version of your teacher edition. You'll see it's exactly the same. I've just linked a few more resources here for you, just so that you have those at your fingertips. So I'm going to look at the teacher edition. This is a lesson out of the third grade teacher edition. So here you have your lesson language, you've got your teacher talk. If you want to deliver the lesson exactly how it's written here in the textbook, you can feel free to do that and read this teacher talk or paraphrase the teacher talk as you're teaching. So I want to draw your attention right here. This instruction says to display and distribute copies of the mentor writing prompt and mentor text. That is not printed anywhere here, nor is it printed in any of your paper materials. Okay, so right here, these materials here, they're not printed for you. So that's where this next resource comes in, okay? This is where you would get those materials. If you're looking at your digital version, you have this additional materials button, and that's where these two items are located. If you click on this, it will take you to this long list, and all of these are separate PDFs. So if you wanted to give your students each a copy of this mentor prompt, you can print this for each student, and you can print a copy of the mentor essay for each student if you want to do that. However, the slide deck has those sorts of things, that entire list of documents that I just showed you. The slide deck has all of that embedded so that you can just display it for the class. So you can feel free to print and display if you'd like, but the purpose of the slide deck is so that you don't have to click on every individual PDF when you're trying to display something for your students. So some of them have, this is just the mentor prompt. This is another example. This is a note-taking guide. So this is on the slide deck. So if you chose, you could show your students the Camouflage Creatures video when you're teaching lesson 9, and then you can fill out this note-taking guide on your smartboard or on your Epson with your students. So the purpose of this is so that you have these sorts of resources and you're not having to draw this out or write this out or kind of clumsily display a PDF while you're trying to teach. Some of them also have this teacher talk at the bottom, and again, this is straight from the Benchmark Advanced Teacher Edition. So one of the lessons, lesson 14, you're showing them these sentences, and this tells you what specifically you're supposed to be talking about here. So this lesson is about prepositions and prepositional phrases. So the teacher talk is down here. It's also in your teacher edition, just to help you remember what you're supposed to be talking about. So you can read the sentences with the students, and then you can talk about all the prepositions that are embedded here in the sentences. When you go to look at these slide decks, it's going to force a copy. So you just click make a copy. It'll open up in your Google Drive, and then you can take those slides, use them, edit them, add to them, remove from them as you would like. I hope this helps.